Disclaimer: the following video is a review in my opinion and contains spoilers for the game's story. All credit goes to the people who worked on the game. Please enjoy and don't take anything too seriously. Thank you for watching. Don't Bite Me Bro review by Wolfdog07. So welcome everyone to my review of Don't Bite Me Bro. I already did the review for this, but apparently my microphone was muted, so now I have to do it all over again. So basically you're starting with a story with a city that has many people and cars and everything, and there's this meteor or crystal or something that drops from space and causes a zombie apocalypse to happen. And then it launches these different orbs from itself once it crashes. And you got the whole city going crazy once it crashes. And when it crashes, you get the three orbs going to a hospital, a church, and a cave. And then the protagonist, which is the player, they're getting their truck back on the road, and then they have to drive away and figure out how to escape. But suddenly you crash and you're left stranded, and you have to find fuel for your truck. And so then you meet this farmer who will lead you to this camp, and thus starting the story of having to get the orbs and make it out alive. So the general gameplay of Don't Bite Me Bro is simple. It's a basic survival game where you have to go around, collect materials, upgrade your base, and collect crops, as well as different food, different weapons, stuff like that. So when you're at the base, you can choose from multiple different characters or survivors or whatever. And here I'm given the option to do the tutorial. I choose not to. That farmer dies. But the gameplay has it where you have to practice going through the game, collecting materials, and once a horde appears at your camp, you have to defend your camp. And you're also given the option to build your base, collect different materials, and the different materials you can collect are wood, rock, and metal. Wood will give you 1 point in materials, rock will give you 2 points in materials, and metal will give you 10 points in materials. Rock material you can get from rocks, trees you can get from, or wood you can get from trees. The metal you can get from cars. And I would suggest going for the cars, that way you'll get materials much faster. And as you can see here, there's this shopkeeper, which he's around all over the map, so you'll find him occasionally. And when you find a shopkeeper, he'll have many different items, but every time you meet up with him, his items will usually be randomized. And once you meet up with him, you better have a lot of bones on you, because if you have bones from killing zombies, then you'll be able to buy some cool stuff, like the katana, extra speed, extra defense, stuff like that. And you can even get materials from him, like wood. And you can even get bullet casings, or like bullet capsules, so you can get more ammunition for your guns. And here, you see me enter a random dungeon, which I think was one of the DLC dungeons, but I don't remember for sure. I think it might have been. But this dungeon in particular is pretty unique. It has its own kind of theme to it, although this kitchen room isn't really too lively. It's all black and white with only a yellow wall, and yeah, but overall the dungeons are pretty good. You get your basics with the having to fight off monsters and collect whatever's in there. Although in the dungeons you don't have much to collect besides materials and food. But in this dungeon in particularly, I hated it. Because not only do you have to deal with so many zombies, which isn't usually a problem, but with this dungeon in particular it is, because the rooms are really small, and there's too many zombies. And as you can see, that zombies just now glitched through the damn wall. And I don't know why they do that, even after multiple patches that the game had. The game just still has this glitch where the zombies will often glitch through the walls. Even when you're in a dire situation and you don't want that to happen, it's gonna happen. They're gonna glitch through the walls all the time. There's no escaping it. So I found it really frustrating, and it pissed me off so many times. It caused me to just quit the game and not even go back to it for a while. Because I was so tired of getting killed by these zombies that would actually go through the walls. And it was just annoying to see them do that the whole time. And so I just stopped playing the game for a while at one point, and then I came back to it, got pissed again, because they wouldn't fix the fucking glitch. And as you can see here, I'm cramped in a small room again, and there's too many zombies. And then these zombies want to keep coming in through the damn wall. And as you can see, it can get pretty hectic, and I'm panicking. I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? And I can go back out that door. Obviously, yes. But it's just something to note if you ever pick up this game. Actually, I shouldn't say pick up. Let's say download this game. Because this game is free to play. And basically, I got my hands on it by that. Because it was free to play. And it still is. On PlayStation 4. I don't know about Xbox. I think it is, but I'm not sure. And it is on Steam for free as well. I think it's for free on Steam. I don't remember. But on PlayStation 4, it's free. But another glitch I found was that when I was playing as a specific survivor with a specific outfit, like right here in this clip where I'm playing as this guy in a white shirt and he has black hair, his character portrait was different than his actual self. Sometimes the character portraits will be like with a character that has a green shirt, and then you're playing as a character that has a black shirt. And then the character portrait doesn't have the information correct, and it misinterprets who you're playing as. And it can be really odd sometimes. It doesn't ruin any gameplay, it's just a little weird. And I'm surprised that they didn't fix it yet. Another thing I like to point out is that the gameplay can get pretty repetitive while you're just collecting materials, getting bones for the shop, stuff like that. And going through each dungeon is also pretty repetitive, although compared to the actually roaming around the actual map, the dungeons are actually better, I'd say, in terms of like gameplay, because it changes it up a little bit which you'll see later. In the dungeons, you can go through different sections, which have a Metroidvania kind of style. And the Metroidvania kind of style, which is like a pretty cool style. You get like these different sections that you can go through, and they have different amounts of zombies to go through. And once you clear that amount of zombies in that section, then you'll be able to go to the next section. But within that section that you're trapped in, you're trapped because there's giant mist or whatever on the other exits of that section. And you won't be able to exit that section of the dungeon until you clear the zombies. And once you clear that section of the zombies, you can move on to the next area. And you can go to different sections that will have like either a tent, or sometimes they'll have a shopkeeper. And then sometimes, which is usually the case, they'll lead you to a lower level of that dungeon. And then you can also go to another level of that dungeon. And there's a total of 3 levels in a dungeon. The first level, which is on the surface, the second level, which is midway through the ground, and then the third level all the way in the ground. And the third level in the dungeon is the one that you want to watch out for, because that's when there's like lava pools in different sections and everything. And you can also find materials and food and items and whatnot. But you should also watch out in the one section where in those dungeons you can also find a rock golem, where he'll have like a giant blue whitish aura surrounding his center body. And then he'll have his hands, which are like giant boulder rocks, and then his body is a giant boulder as well. And you'll have to attack him, and you even get materials from like attacking his body and everything. But you'll have to take out his hands first, and then you can get his body. But once you defeat the rock golem monster in the dungeons, then you'll get his orb. And then you can then complete the story from there by getting the rest of the orbs and so on. But here you just see me leave from my base camp after dropping off some materials and everything. And yeah. And you can even have a truck to drive around in to get different you can get gas for your truck and drive around to different areas of the map, meet up with different survivors, and you can also find a dog in the game, which I'm sure you saw in the clip. But yeah, this game, it's pretty fun. I'd say give it a shot. You can find some pretty cool weapons, and do know that with the weapon, the katana, you can actually cut the zombies' heads off so that they don't respawn occasionally. What I mean by respawn with the zombies is that sometimes they'll come back to life, but as extra powerful zombies, and they'll be all red. Now, their heads will be red, meaning that they were given a chance to resurrect. And you don't want that to happen. So with the katana, it makes it easier to not even worry about that, because it eliminates that part from them being able to resurrect. So you won't have to worry about them coming back. And you'll see here that I unlock a door inside this police station or whatever, with all these different weapons and everything. And you see that I need a giant key or whatever to open this lock, so that I can get to those guns and those weapons and everything. But then you also get the different key items that you can get in the game, which are keys. You're actually no, you get the all of the different items, which go into this biography section, where it'll detail all the different items and what they do, what their purposes are. And yeah, it's a pretty basic system. This game is free on PlayStation 4, as I noted. It's pretty fun. I also like the horde meter, which will indicate when the zombie hordes will invade your camp. And while you're in dungeons, that meter will pause. And I like that because it gives the player nothing to worry about. And that the player will just be able to move around fine in the game and not have to worry about any zombies. But as you can see in the dungeon here, I got my ass beat. Because there was too many lava pools and you can barely move around in that section. And the dungeons can get really frustrating in those sections where you have too many lava pools. And it's often that you'll just die a lot in these dungeons, which they're fun dungeons, don't get me wrong, but sometimes they can be a little annoying and that you don't want to do it anymore. And that you won't really have fun with them anymore at all. And yeah. So overall, the dungeons, pretty decent, although they can get pretty repetitive. And they can get a little frustrating as well. Even if you're playing on the easiest difficulty, the zombies in the dungeons are really hectic, especially if there's a lot of lava pools. And I just found it really hectic. But yeah. The other thing I'd like to touch on is that you can also get like the different boosts for like attacking, defense, speed, and stuff like that. And the different food items that you can get is like pizza or donuts or anything like that. And it's ridiculous and you can also get cheeseburgers. And it's ridiculous because you can't eat those food items right on the spot. You can only have your character eat them when he or she is at a base camp inside the dungeon or like anywhere on the map. So they'll basically have to either you'll have to go back to your tent or you have to find a tent or whatever in the dungeon, which is really hectic because those food items in the game are not really much that you have to cook. Like a donut, you don't really need to cook that. You can just eat it right away. And I felt that was like really annoying or frustrating. And they couldn't eat specific food items right on the spot, even though you could, technically speaking. It's just that they didn't make it like that in this game. But as you can see, here in this clip, the character portrait is fucked up again. It's not the exact character I'm playing as a different one. Although it's the same one, it's just using a different skin. But the various survivors in the game do have different weapons. You've got the main female character that has a purse that she can swing around, and it uses a different kind of melee attack, which is unique. And then you have the basic male survivor, which has a club, a wooden club, like cavemen use. So I did think that it was pretty unique that some of the survivors have their own unique weapons. And then you also get like the ability to have watchtowers for their survivors so that they can shoot at the zombies when they're invading your camp. And I thought that was pretty cool. But overall, this game was pretty decent. I'd say the shopping system was pretty cool. But the dungeons were a pain in the ass, I'll admit. I didn't like the dungeons too much because they got really repetitive. So did the gameplay in general for just roaming around the map. Although you could collect different materials, yes. But besides that point, you would just become a little bit bored with playing the game. And you would want to just stop after like doing a little bit of a quest set or two. Like, the game's fun, it just gets repetitive really fast, and I just felt it was a little bit boring sometimes, and frustrating too, because sometimes you'll just be dealing with no health at all whatsoever when you respawn at times, and I felt that was like odd, which it did make sense, but it felt a little frustrating. But other than all that, I thought it was pretty cool. Especially since you can also like upgrade your tent, your barricades, stuff like that. And you can even change like which survivor you're playing as at the time and stuff like that. And you can even get different weapons and talk to different survivors to get like different keys from them to get like whatever is in their bases. And yeah, I thought the game was pretty good. It's a decent free-to-play game with a unique kind of system that I feel like is pretty special to it. Although with some flaws, I think the game was really fun and enjoyable. Even though it was repetitive and some aspects were frustrating, such as the zombies phase through walls glitch, I thought it was still a pretty fun and enjoyable game. Is this the best free-to-play game? Probably not. But I will say that there are many different types of zombies, as well as the ability to drive around if you don't want to walk. You can also like gather different materials, and all around it's a really fun and enjoyable game. I liked it a lot. And for all these reasons I stated, I will give this game an 8 out of 10. Because not only did it keep me impressed or happy throughout most of the time, I also felt like I was right at home playing a game where I could just relax and take the day off. This has been WolfDog107 with a review of Don't Bite Me Bro. 8 out of 10. Thank you for watching.